everybody, what's up? Good morning. I know it's early. Welcome to this special early morning edition of a live chat with Rico. I've been up. This was like 7:38 on October 7th, and I've been awake since about like 5:45, 6, just kind of tossing and turning in the bed, and when you have a lot of stuff on your mind, you can barely sleep. So I decided to just get my ass up and just get whatever it is on my mind off my mind. It's quite a few things. I know I've been kind of laxing on the lives. If I understand, everybody, or just my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist, a few lives and a few shows. So I'm trying to put together a Sunday night show. Good morning, Nina. What's up? Long time no hear from. So what's kept me up among many things, because I can, a lot of stuff is always on my mind, but this recent thing that just occurred, because I know last night I did a live on the Megan Thee Stallion. I call it the Megan Thee Stallion debacle on Saturday Night Live. Everyone, we all have our own right. We have the right to our own separate opinions about any and everything. I just share mine. This brother who was recently murdered in cold blood by the cop in Wolf City, Texas, in Hunt County, I guess in East Texas. And last night I was having a conversation with my partner in crime, Mary Max, and we were just discussing him, and I was sharing my thoughts with her about so many negative comments that have come out from our community, black people. Yeah, on the D.L. Hughley Instagram and on Facebook. She sent me one, and I ran across one this morning. Black men disparaging, talking really reckless about this black man. And it seems to be, before I get into what I really want to talk about, I just want to say this. I just find it amazing that it's so easy to rip apart black men and black boys. It's so easy with little or no consequence. And it's just this anti-black male misandry, which is pretty much started with slavery, and then the white feminists took it up, and now the black females refer to themselves as feminists, or even womanists have gotten into the feminist rhetoric. This attack on black males because of who they date or having different political philosophies, because it's not what is the going narrative, and this double standard, this hypocrisy. But first, before I really get started, 'cause I know once I get started on this, I'm going to go in. And y'all know how you do. You either take the meat, spit out the bones, or, accept my opinion for me having an opinion. That's what I do. I've always done it since I was in, probably junior high school. I've always had an opinion. And one thing about my opinions, they seem to always go against these accepted norms in the world, or particularly in the black community, these accepted norms. If you don't think this way, you're not black. If you don't date this way, you're not a black man, and all this kind of stuff. And so I've always gone against the grain, if you will. If you were a student when I was a student at Grambling State University years ago, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I didn't go against the grain to be controversial. I went against the grain because I had my own brain, and I saw things for what they really were, and I dared to say it out loud, like I've always done. Yeah, to the chagrin, and to many or a lot, it is what it is. You can't say anything. You can't say anything that will please people all the time, all the people all the time. But I just want to make sure my conscience is clear all the time. But just in case you haven't heard, I have a book out, a short story. It's called "The Greatest Pain I've Ever Felt." It's it's the greatest pain I've ever felt. Conversation with my absent biological father, who never wanted to be found. And this one, and it talks about when I was accidentally informed about who my actual real father was, and I was a student at Grambling State University at 22 years old. And it started from that night. The journey took me all the way up until 39 years old when I finally met him in person. And when I knocked on the door, he's asked me, "Hey, how'd you find me?" And I told him Google, MapQuest, and he said to me, "Hey, I have to give you an A for effort because I've worked aggressively over the years to prevent you from ever finding me." So I started from there, and I worked my way up all the way to age 39, and I wrote the story. Actually, it's a story that was a chapter in my actual manuscript that I'm publishing next year about childhood stuff and all of that. And this chapter went a little long. It expanded to 40 pages, and I thought I'd just release it as a separate entity because the conversation of fatherlessness and kids not growing up with a father and all that, and how it emotionally and mentally impacts the child, that's still an ongoing conversation. And so I just wanted to contribute to the conversation with my own personal story. So if you have not picked one up, please do so. And those who picked it up say it's a good read. It was been described as powerful, and it's only $10. I have it in PDF form only. It's probably the least expensive way to distribute it on my own. And if you hit me on the Cash App, it's on this Facebook page or my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. It's a $ Blackmanmojo, $ Blackmanmojo. $10. Once I receive your $10, you've sent me an email address. I will immediately email you your copy, and thank you so much in advance for your support. So go out and pick it up. But yeah, this brother. And share this live, by the way, if you got a minute this morning as you're scrambling your eggs. Jonathan Price. Again, as I stated earlier, I went and looked up everything that I could about the brother. And I scoured the internet. I read news articles, various news articles. Also was able to come across this infamous Facebook post where he allegedly said he's addicted to white women, and he allegedly said something disparaging about black women. And I read his original post, and it was nothing like that. As a matter of fact, there are people who are purposely taking his words out of context. There are people who are purposely saying that he, said something disparaging about black women, and he mentioned being addicted to white women, but he mentioned it in the context of, look, my own family put me down when I was young, and I was raised by these two white families, and they fed me, they gave me this, they made sure that I had a good life, and so we're going to pretend that the blind side never happened. We're going to pretend that a lot of black children living in impoverished or living in messed up black families aren't lifted up and taken and raised by other people, and they tend to be raised in another environment, and so when they're raised in another environment, they think differently. It's called like being raised in a ghetto as opposed to the suburbs. Black kids from the ghetto think differently than black kids from the suburbs. Suburb black kids think differently from and behave and are exposed to different things as opposed to black kids who are raised in the suburbs. And no, I'm not just saying the suburbs correlates to white. It doesn't mean that anymore. But all of us who now live in the suburbs, who were successful in attending a historically black college or any university, and you're able to earn enough money or create a business where your children don't even come 20 miles close to a black ghetto or black ghetto dysfunction. So I don't understand why we don't understand why he thought the way he thought. He said that, look, I've been stopped over for drunk driving and tags out and other traffic violations, and the cops and little white cops let me off. So why wouldn't he have a different opinion about police than the world or than a lot of us have individually? If some of us would tell the truth, our opinions about the police is not as deep as the politics have displayed or put out there, if we were going to be honest. Because a lot of us have had positive experiences with the police. And to hold him hostage, for him, I guess, expressing kind of being grateful for, in his mind, based on that Facebook page, being rescued from his current situation. He said that my own family, friends didn't even support my dreams or my businesses. And I hope we're not going to act like a lot of us haven't gone through that. People who look like you, people who are blood connected, as he said, are the ones who don't support you. And so we have these biracial folks or non-black folks who get to yelling, all skin folks and kin folks. Well, can we give him that pass? But we throw him out as referring to him as a coon and a bootlick. You know, we really need to understand. And so we really need to quit this hypocrisy and this contradictory thinking only when it fits a particular narrative of, you know, because all of this is political. And it's being driven by the liberal left, liberal left, and these angry feminists. When I go back and listen to, and again, when I was listening to the Megan Thee Stallion performance, and she played Tamika Mallory's rant against Daniel Cameron. He's a sellout. He's worse than the slave master. No, she did her little thing. He's a sellout. Interesting, Tamika Mallory. Instead of you use this strong black female voice, but you said instead of you choosing your race, you chose your gender, Tamika Mallory. You chose your gender, and you aligned yourself with white women, Hispanic women, and I don't know why they call these people Muslim women. Muslim is a religion, not a goddamn race. I'm not gonna cuss anymore, I swear. Not a race. Islam is a religion. But Tamika Mallory. But as soon as you stood up for a black man, or they accused you of being aligned with the wrong black man, which is Minister Farrakhan, you were kicked out of that movement, Tamika Mallory. So in hypocrisy, fellas, stop letting these women speak for us. If her name isn't Shahrazad Ali, if her name isn't Sister Ava Muhammad, if her name isn't Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Dr. Joy Leary, Dr. Julia Hare, don't let these chicks speak for black men and black people. Because they're agents of the liberals, they're agents of white supremacy, really. Now she want to call this brother, Daniel, a sellout and a bootlick. Look, I have my issues with what this guy's done, and so let's charge him up. But all that other stuff, and then him marrying a white woman, but it's interesting to Tamika Mallory and others. Y'all never charged up Serena Williams, Tika Sumpter, Whoopi Goldberg, Eve, for marrying white men. Y'all never charged these people up. Pamela, I named you the women. And, and we need to, this hypocrisy. And so this brother, based on, I'm back to Jonathan Reynolds now. I scoured the internet to find any infraction that he has had against black men and black women. None. All he ever did was share his angst and his disappointment and his upbringing and how some other people had to rescue him from his upbringing, and the people who were assigned to love him and care for him gave out. And we're going to act like that's not a lot of our stories. We talk about it all the time. So we're not going to give him this consideration because he dated white women. Weird. Again, he never did anything political or economic or criminal against black men, black women. It appears his only crime is that he was raised up around white folks, and therefore he absorbed the quote-unquote the white mentality, and he dated white women. So those of us who are logical thinking men and logical thinking women are supposed to bury him because of that. But yet we let Lil Wayne run his little ragged ass around here. He didn't have nothing bad to say about the cops either. He said if it wasn't for his cops, his life wouldn't have been saved. Good morning, Nancy. Mary Max, good morning, sweetheart. Robert, good morning. You know what I'm saying? See how we pick and choose? And I looked at his record. I looked all over, didn't find anything. So that's why I'm upset. Because, okay, we have people who, Pamela, that is stupid what you just said. That is stupid. And I'm going to ignore you. And so, having said that, and it's untrue too, Pamela, the black woman isn't God. You shouldn't have flunked 8th grade biology and 9th grade history. So having said that, he is being vilified after his death because his comments, I guess they weren't harsh enough against the cops. And him dating white women. If you go back and read his initial post, I read it, and I said people are tripping. And so to call him a coon and say and imply that he deserved to die was out of order. It's very interesting when people brought up Breonna Taylor's dating the dope boys and having conversation with her drug dealer boyfriend and allowing him to use her house as a drug drop off and all of that. You know what y'all said, particularly black women and beta male simp ass black dudes, you know what y'all said? So you trying to say she deserved to be murdered by the cops? No one ever said that. But from all the ugly comments I've seen regarding to Jonathan Price's murder for doing the right thing by a racist. Well, you around here thinking white folks all that, well, you get what you deserve. Yeah, and what else? I'll tell you. I'm going to give you some of the comments. Well, I hope his white women are up marching for him. Well, we're going to leave this up to white people to take care of this. Just weird-ass comments. And let me tell you, for those of you who thought that, guess what? Yesterday, there were legions of white folks standing up and protesting for him. White men, white women, white children. He grew up in that little town. 1,400. Majority white folks. And that's one thing, that's a side note. One thing I never cared for, if you ask me what I didn't like or what I don't like about Texas or living in Texas, it is they have too many small towns, too many sundown, capability of being sundown towns. And so that's the only thing. Because driving when we leave in Dallas and going up towards Hunt County and all that, sundown, the small town, 1,400 people, 1,500 people. Go up 35, heading towards Houston, just small towns. And I never cared for that. Because when you have a small town, it creates a small town mentality. Sometimes it's not always positive. So, but anyway, that's where he grew up. He went to Sam Houston and went to another college, graduated, came out, became a fitness trainer. He was known as a mentor. He was known as a friend. He was known as a, quote, good guy. Nothing negative about this dude. A black man. But even, in his death, he got all these black folks, celebrities and non-celebrities, saying these disparaging things about him. And I don't like that. I don't have a problem with black men who date outside their race, as long as they're not bothering us. I don't have a problem with black women who date outside their race, as long as they're not bothering us. Because I'm of the philosophy, should I decide to jump over the fence, I'm going to keep my ass. I'm going to keep my ass on that side of the fence. I have nothing else to say about black women. I have nothing else to say about what's going on in black community because I've made my choice. And you know what? He had nothing disparaging to say about black folks. He was minding his business and being a good damn citizen. But how come we are going to ignore this fact? See, when men are little boys, we're taught this one thing that I'm totally against now. I don't care what a woman does. A man should never put his hands on a woman. I'm so against that because just like him, so many men have lost their lives trying to protect women from their own choices. And he died trying to protect a woman. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Wait a minute. My alarm is set. Hold on.
This week on the Black Ballot, you can examine.
All right. And so he murdered off of that philosophy. And guess what? A lot of you women and fathers are still teaching y'all sons that stupid crap. I don't care. You're supposed to. So, hold on a minute. So, Pamela, based on your logic, he was a real man. So, everything you just said was just debunked. All that other stupid shit you just said was just debunked by that statement right there. You see how your feminist arrogance and ignorance just played against you, Pamela Moses? Okay. So, and they're taught this foolishness. That you're supposed to protect women. Well, those are not the days. You're here to protect women when they behave as women. But black men are dying, not because the cops are shooting them, and not just because they're murdering each other in these gang wars and just killing each other. They're also dying because of that dumb philosophy. You know, that's why they're dying. I mean, they're also dying because of that. We need to stop teaching little boys that foolishness. You know, we need to cut it out because it's stupid. And black boys are dying. Now, they'll try to hurt and kill another man. But, but they can't seem to protect themselves when a woman's attacking them. And so we need to stop that. And Jonathan Price died Jonathan Price died because of that stupid philosophy. Now, if it's your mother, your sister, your female cousins, your auntie, I understand that. But even with the family members who are females, watch yourselves, fellas. Because guess what? Our mothers, our sisters, our nieces, our aunts, they're women just like everybody else, and they make piss poor choices. They make piss poor choices. And that could put your life at risk. And so I'm just shocked at how we all look past the very reason why he died is from protecting a woman. He got involved in a domestic, he inserted himself. He got involved in a domestic situation, a domestic violence situation, which rarely turns out well for the men. Contrary to popular belief, the statistics have changed over the years. Well, they say women are mainly the majority of domestic violence victims. Yeah, it's still there. It used to be like this. Women, domestic violence victims here, men here. But in the last 10 years, it's here, based on the stats. And so, we need to mature. For those of you who are coming in, thank you so much for joining me for this live. If you have not picked up my latest short story, get it. $Blackmanmojo. It's $10. It's called The Greatest Pain Ever Felt. My conversation with my absent biological father who who never wanted to be found. And it starts when I was 22 years old, when I first found out about it by accident, and met him at 39 years old, and it's an emotional roller coaster, as well as a few surprises here and there. But yeah, from what people have told me who've read it thus far, says it's a good read, a page turner, powerful. These are some of the things that they said to me. So hit me up at Blackmanmojo. That is the Cash App. And when you do it, send me an email, and I can email you your PDF copy. You can take it anywhere you want. So I appreciate that in advance. And so that is what kept me up all night, thinking about how people just dogging this brother out. And then, I can understand when women do stuff, and of course y'all know when I'm talking, I'm speaking generally and quote, not all. But it bothers me when I see other men join in on this feminist rant of attacking other black men. I just found that what's good, DeAndre? I find it very problematic when I see black men who are supposed to be heterosexual, masculine black men start espousing these feminist talking points. I don't like that. I need brothers to think harder, and we can't think like women. That's why a lot of our men are kind of like in the background. A lot of black men in the background because we don't think like men anymore. And then black women, that's right, Mary Max. We have to, it's we have to start using our own minds and start using our own logical thinking. And all of a sudden, you see Megan Thee Stallion want to use, try to, insert Tamika Mallory and Malcolm X, use his words. I didn't appreciate that at all. If you saw my live last night, I didn't appreciate her using anything about Malcolm. While you pushing out your Jezebel spirit and your horse spirit. But I'm not going to get too distracted by all the other foolishness. I got on live to talk about how I did not care for people attacking Jonathan Price when he hasn't done anything. All he did was what they say men should do, that is protect women. To me, it doesn't matter if she's black or white. And I think a lot of sisters want black men to be mad. He dating number white women. So what? So what? I look at what harm have you done to us. Guess what, Jonathan Price, he dated white women. And he used the word hey. And let me tell y'all something he said. Read his post. He said, y'all don't know it, but y'all are the ones that caused me to become addicted to white women. I have family members. Their sons don't date black chicks. They look at every other group. And you black mamas out there, y'all don't think y'all have anything to do with that? How you treat your son, how you behave. Look at some of these schools, their virtual school, and how these mamas have been on there smoking blunts, cigarettes, cussing out the teachers, walking across the computer screen naked. And y'all don't think that's traumatizing to the boys? And it's a turn off? It's like we try to shame and force black boys to date black women. How about you be the example of a woman that he want to date? Instead of being angry, a whore, a big mouth, naked in front of your whole world when you're in school in the 3rd and 4th grade. How come, just so be the example. Like a lot of our mothers were. Ladies, feminine, sweet, demure, kind. You understand? A lot of guys who are dating black women, they're thinking like they did it because of y'all. They don't want that smoke. They don't want that backlash. But they're not really happy. Yeah, I said it's the truth. You can date whoever you want to. But black men are the ones who told, well, you need to date black women. But no one tells black women they need to be dating black men. You never hear that. You never hear black men tell black women that. But black women have been given this false authority over black men. Like Like you are official dick police. And then now you got these old soft ass beta male black dudes in your corner. In your corner trying to tell us. In your corner trying to tell us who to date. Now I just happen to be one of those lucky ones. But my mom was very nice, very sweet, demure. But I want, date my my mom. But I do look at women with those qualities: sweet, soft-spoken, kind, not rough, but feminine. Yeah, a lot of guys date women because they don't know any better. These old rough, loud, angry, fussy, mouthy, nick twirling, because that's what they grew up with. They don't know any better. They hadn't met me, so I can teach them that it's not required, brother. You deserve peace in your life. And that peace should come from your woman. If you're going to live with one and be married to one, that peace should come from your home. Not these loudmouth Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Tasha Smith, the character Tasha Smith. All this. Who does that unless you're mentally ill? I'm not mentally ill. I know what's best for my mental health. And guess what? Jonathan Price understood. He knew he was coming from a place in his experience of hurt. And so that's how he, Now, do I agree because somebody white does something nice to you, you become this deep race loyalist to them? That's unnecessary. Because we've all had white people do something nice for us. That doesn't mean that I owe them my life and my racial loyalty. Just like, thank you. Just like I had a lot of black folks that do a lot of nice things for me outside of my family. And so, it doesn't mean that, I can't say anything that's not flattering about black folks, especially if it's the truth. And that's how I roll. I do what I do what I want to do. I think I use my own mind, and no one influences me any otherwise. Criticisms are futile. In my ears, they're mute. Or moot, my bad. Not mute, but moot. So yeah, I'm early. I'm up this morning. I'm up this morning just to share these thoughts. And I have other lives that I'm going to do. They're not going to be long. They'll be very specific. And I hope you stay tuned. I don't know when. I may do another one immediately after this one. But I just want to say, Jonathan Price does not deserve to be attacked and vilified for his dating preference. And I need us to pay attention to why he was actually murdered by a racist white cop. And number two, because he was doing the right thing, that is protecting women. So men, when y'all hear this foolishness, we need to protect black women, men should protect women. Don't do it. Don't do it. If it's not your family member, don't do it. You should have learned this 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. Don't do it. Because if he's a dude that's beating her ass, guess who chose him? She did. And if he's beating her ass and she has kids, guess who is causing trauma to those children? Her. Because she's allowing herself to still be in a situation where a dude is cheating on her or beating her ass. And it's not up to you, to intervene, especially if you have a wife, especially if you have children, especially if you have a life. Don't risk it for that. There's bigger reasons why we risk our lives, and not for somebody making poor choices like you don't know how to get away from an abusive mate. And let me tell y'all something. I've taught batterers classes, and so I'm not being insensitive to the victims of domestic violence. But it's interesting that we're not as sensitive to the men who are victims of domestic violence. Other men are not sensitive to men who are victims of domestic violence. But let it be a woman. Oh my God, he's terrible. It's 2020, not 1720. Feminism, independence. We all equal. See, I pay attention, regardless of what anybody might think. I pay attention to women because I was raised by women, for the most part. But luckily, I'm a kid of the late 70s and the 80s. I had appropriate male role models to give that masculine balance that I needed. in my schools in summertime, like for camp. I had appropriate preachers in the neighborhood. So I grew up, I was very fortunate, unlike the young men who were born in the late 80s and born in the 90s. Those role models were they were pretty much smoking weed, or they kind of disappeared from the community. And so they weren't as fortunate as me and my brother, because being a single mother, being raised by a single mother in the 60s and 70s and 80s, it wasn't an emotional and mental health death sentence for children as much as it is right now. So that's why I speak out against single mothers. It's weird, but that's not my topic. But anyway, I just want to share that with y'all. And I just wanted to just put something else in the conversation. If y'all see people who are just dogging his brother out, and all they're talking about is because he dated white women, they lied and said he said something disparaging about black women. He didn't. He just went on about his business. That's all he did. And he was acting on what he was taught as a little boy: protect women. I don't have a problem with protecting a lady. If a lady is actually in distress, because I was like that in the 80s and 90s. Brothers said, oh, bro, don't do that. Let me give you an example of how we protected women in the 80s and 90s. And I was a teenager, and I became an adult at age 21. I'm sorry, in 1990, so I turned 21. And on the campus of Grambling State University. Shout out to Grambling State University. But when we would see a guy, let's say if he asked her for her phone number and she said no, he said, well, forget you, B. Ugly, ugly, B, and all that. And we like, oh, bro, don't do that, man. She didn't have to give you her number. Especially if she said, no, thank you, in a very sweet and feminine voice. I have a boyfriend, and he's still trying to push me. Like, no, bro, don't do that, man. That's uncool. We would get on dude. That's how we did. But now, they don't just say, no, I have a boyfriend. They don't say, I have a boyfriend. No, thank you. With a smile. They give you the look crazy. But still, he has no right to attack her. And there are guys who still check other men. Contrary to what women believe, guys do check other men. You know why? Because we was raised by black mothers who tell us, I don't care what she says, how she acts, what she does, she still needs to be protected. That foolishness. And guess what? A lot of many black men are still under that spell. She never has to be accountable for her behavior nor her choices. She's a woman. And I need feminist women to think about that. What you're saying is, you are stupid, you are a weakling, and bless your heart, baby, you don't know no better. Whenever y'all make statements like that, don't do that. Luckily, there's people like me who uses his Aquarius mind and say, no, I'm not going to think she's stupid or less than me or a child. Because that's the message that's being sent out. I don't care what a woman does. I don't care what she says. I don't care how she blah, blah, blah. She deserves respect. But when a man does something that's out of character of being a man, he's a coward. He's a little boy. Oh, who hurt you? Don't do that. I don't think like that. I've always been my own Aquarius. I've always been my own person. Always. And it's not going to change. I point out the pink elephant in the black living room. I don't have a problem with that. And this is one of those times. Why is Jonathan Price being so vilified? When y'all let Lil Wayne and these Sambo rappers and these Megan Thee Stallions and these Cardi B's just skate, doing just tremendous things to and against the black community. Now, we can debate, there's really no debate what y'all think about Daniel Cameron. But Daniel Cameron, guess what, y'all? Daniel Cameron was also like a student at Grambling. We had a cat like that at Grambling. A couple of dudes at Grambling. They talked, they spoke and thought just like him. I think they probably went on and married white women. But those, unlike what Joe Biden said about the black race, we are diverse. We are diverse. We all think differently. I mean, a lot of us, we're not, I guess, monolithic. But somehow we try to force us to become monolithic when it comes to voting for Democrats. If you have a black man or woman who dares to say, well, I'm Republican, I want to vote for this Republican candidate, all of a sudden, y'all try to cancel them and uninvite them to this imaginary cookout. It's weird. So what I need us to do is start reading the books of our scholars and putting them in perspectives. Because even, let me say this, even in our so-called pro-black or conscious community, feminism and anti-black male misandry has entered into so-called black consciousness. And that's why I've stepped away from everything that sounds weird in 2020. But I've walked away from the black conscious community for years. Now, I accept the diet, I accept the reading, but the reasoning in 2020, no. If you go into that community, a lot of them are broke, a lot of them on drugs, a lot of them have undiagnosed bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, a lot of them have a bunch of baby mothers, just like the so-called Christian or unconscious brothers and sisters. They got a bunch of baby daddies, just like so-called, I guess, the ones who hadn't read the Medunetta. The only thing is her baby dad's name is Mufasa, Abdullah, Hakim, Wali. It's still a bunch of baby daddies, sweetheart. Okay, your name is Fatima and not Tasha. You still doing Tasha behavior, misconscious sister with your tattoos. It can be of the Ankh or it can be of Nefertiti. You still got tattoos all over your damn body. Y'all see how I work this out? I live up here. I use this. And I use truth and logic. I use logic. Well, even if it's going against my own thinking at times. If it's like, Rico, think more about this, brother. Let's expand or broaden your thinking. That comes when you have critical and analytical thinking skills. I don't go by a script. And yeah, the conscious community, a lot of it is full of crap. They're no better than the so-called Christian and Muslim. They're no better. Because if you don't think for yourself and behave like an adult with good sense, it don't matter what your religious affiliation or beliefs are. You're still doing some dumb shit. Now, conscious community is cool. You know, I'm over the lectures of the conscious community. I've been over those lectures. You know, the black woman is God. I'm so over that lie. I'm over that lie. Because when you're raised by appropriate fathers and appropriate mothers in the same household, none of that stuff rings true. It's just single mothers teaching these boys. Because she's the only one in the house. She's the only authority. So he doesn't know any better until somebody pulls him out and takes him to the library and says, no, that's not true. Because you can't have children unless he sticks his penis in her body. That's how she becomes a mother. So in essence, the black man is God. Now, she can make a choice to deliver it or not, but she's delivering God. Got it? So I don't want to minimize women as just being incubators. But anyway, I probably said too much. Again, as I go out, if you have not picked up the book, mess with your boy on the book. On the short story, because it's only 40 pages, but it's powerhouse. $Blackmanmojo. It's called The Greatest Pain I Ever Felt. Conversation with absent biological father who never wanted to be found. And it's an up and down, all around emotional roller coaster. It actually happened. I changed the names, but it's actually happened. So I thank you all for joining me this morning for this particular topic. Let's lay off of Jonathan Price. You don't have to love him. You don't have to, because we didn't know him, but I know him as a black man who did some good things in his life. And that's where I'm coming from. So you black dudes out there following these old angry sisters because they're mad because he dated white women, you know, don't fall for that. Because until they get mad at Serena Williams, until they get mad at Eve, old pit bull in a skirt, now I don't think about our race when I'm with my white man. See, that kind of, until they check that. No, not men, but women. Till y'all check that. Check Serena Williams, check Venus Williams, check Eve, check Tika Sumpter, check Wanda Sykes, lesbian with a white wife. Till they check these sisters who got white type. Check Diana Ross, Diane Carroll, Nina Simone. She had her white man too. What's her name? Dr. Maya Angelou, check her. See what I'm talking about? Rip all that she's done this good away from her because of who she dated. See, that's why I need y'all to think on your own, fellas. Read the books. The scholars wrote the books. If you want to copy my Rico's Black Book List, send me an email and my messenger, and I'll get it to you. But I'm going to end it right here. Thank y'all so much for allowing me to get this off my mind and stop hating. And Robin Roberts, thank you, Barbara. Yeah, she a lesbian with a white woman. But y'all won't check these black women with these white men and these lesbian white women. You know. And it continues. Y'all want to check every black man's drawers and his penis to see where he's stuck it. Y'all cut it out. And I need you black dudes to cut it out. It's effeminate, it's beta male thinking, and it's lame. You know, we got enough brothers who are doing men things for us to be worried about. And we got enough sisters who are doing black woman things with black husbands and black children to be distracted. But anyway, y'all be cool. Thank y'all again. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.